Hello everyone, and welcome to my GH Soap Opera Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brooklyn and Lulu argue over her feelings for Maxie's husband as Felicia tells her daughter Nathan is alive. Today on General Hospital, Jens asks two women out on a date. Felicia, Spinelli, and the kids catch Maxie up on what's happened, and Britt warns Marco he's going to lose Lucas when the truth about him comes out. At the hospital in Boston, Maxie's family is stunned when she wakes up, and the kids rush to hug her. Maxie is rightly confused as to where they are, and Felicia explains to her daughter that she had a heart attack and was transferred to this hospital in Boston for care. Spinelli arrives, sees Maxie awake, and rushes into her arms. Maxie, back in bed, has learned she's been there for 6 months. As the kids fill their mom in on what she missed, Spinelli and Felicia speak with her doctor outside. The doctor tells Spinelli and Felicia that everything seems fine with Maxie, and the enzymes in her system have begun to flush themselves out, which is why she likely woke up. Felicia and Spinelli then discuss what Maxie needs to know, and Felicia decides she should give her that news. Spinelli and Felicia head into the room, where the kids are sharing updates and photos with Maxie. Maxie is glad they are a whole family again, saying no one will change that. Felicia takes the kids out so Spinelli can spend time alone with Maxie. He fills her in on Brooklyn and Lulu teaming up to help him and Felicia care for the kids, which she says is the best news she could have woken up to. Hold on to that thought, Maxie. Felicia and the kids head back in, and Felicia says she filled Mac in. Spinelli and the kids decide to fly back to Port Charles, as they have school, leaving Felicia behind. Once alone, Felicia lets the tears flow and hugs her daughter. Michael asks a favor of Nina. Nina finds Michael shirtless at Crimson, and Jacinda brings him a shirt. She asks if they must christen every surface in her office, and begins spraying Lysol. Jacinda tells Nina he just spilled coffee on his shirt, and nothing has been defiled today. Michael explains he came here to see Nina. Jacinda heads back to her desk, when Ava shows up to see her friend. Jacinda explains that Nina is busy. Nina and Michael talk, and he asks her to take it easy on Jacinda. Nina says she can find a way to coexist with Jacinda, who isn't a terrible assistant, and they shake on it. Michael heads out, and Ava heads in. Ava shares news with Nina. Ava tells Nina that she sees Michael's hooker is still employed, and Nina wonders what has brought her friend here so late. Ava tells her about the sparks flying between her and Jens. Ava warns her that Jens is dangerous, and he and Sunny hate one another. Nina is against this, but admits it's nice to see Ava having a glow about her again. Are Michael and Jacinda still an item? In the reception area, Jacinda asks when Michael was going to tell her about his custody arrangement with Willow, and if he compromised because of her. Michael admits she was a factor, but the real deciding factor was that if he were charged with shooting Drew, he could have lost custody to Willow. He was going to tell her tonight on their date, if she still wants to go out with him. Lucas opens up to Liz at the hospital. Lucas finds Liz in the co-ed locker room getting ready for her date with Rick, and wonders if he has something to say about her choice. Lucas says he's the last person to give advice on men. She tells him to spill it. Lucas tells Liz he overheard Marco and his father talking, and Marco knows all about whatever his father is up to, and it sounds like he's his right-hand man. He says they were discussing coercing someone into doing something. The way he was speaking was not the same man he fell in love with, and perhaps he's been lying to him all along. Lucas says what hurts most is that he defended Marco to Carly and pushed her away for someone who hasn't been honest with him. Liz then gives him some tough love. Living in that house is not safe, as Sidwell is a dangerous man. He needs to pack his bags and move out tonight. Britt warns Marco of what's coming in the underground lab at Windmere. Marco finds Britt working and rewards her with a syringe of her meds. Britt warns him that, as someone who has been in the position of working for her evil father, the truth about what he's up to with Sidwell will come out, and it won't end well for him and Lucas. Britt says they are developing a dangerous weapon, and if he loved Lucas, then he wouldn't lie to him. She doesn't understand why he's involved in this, and what he gets out of it. Marco says what he gets from this is none of her business, and orders her to get the project online, so they can all go on with their lives. Lucy wants a do-over. Lucy shows up at Jen's door, and he invites her in, saying she's always welcome here. She tells him that she should never given him an ultimatum and asks for another chance, which he is happy to give her as he enjoys their time together. He thinks they are both mature enough to enjoy each other's company without any of that exclusivity business. He invites her to dinner at the Metro Court, and she accepts, but he says they have one stop to make first. Is it a date for Lulu and Nathan? At Lulu's, she breaks away from Nathan and tells him they can't do this. Not in her house, where Rocco or Charlotte could walk in. He wonders if she wants to be nothing more than friends, but she feels they owe it to themselves to see if they can be more. Nathan suggests they pick a date to see where things go. Nathan decides to head out with the goodie bags and gives her one that says, "Kiss me," to hold on to. Suddenly, Brooklyn appears at the door and sees the chemistry between them. Brooklyn wants answers from Lulu. Nathan heads out, and Brooklyn had come to update Lulu on Bailey Lou. However, she wants to know what is going on with her and Nathan. Lulu doesn't want to argue with her, given how good things have been between them, but Brooklyn says Nathan is Maxie's husband. Lulu admits she and Nathan have feelings for one another. Lulu knows this is confusing, and she and Nathan need time and space to deal with their feelings. Brooklyn asks if Dante knows, but Lulu says he doesn't. Brooklyn says this is a bad idea. Dante and Nathan are best friends, and she could lose Maxie forever over this. Frankly, Brooklyn says she deserved to lose her friend if she pursues Nathan. In the show's final moments at Crimson, Jacinda, of course, wants to go out with Michael tonight, but she wants to pick the place and surprise him for once. Ava thanks Nina for the advice. She says Jen sees her value and respects her opinion, which means a lot to her. That's when Jen shows up to see Ava, as he has a dinner proposition for her. Ava accepts and departs with Jen's, only to learn Lucy is accompanying them. On the turret at Windermere, Marco calls Cullum and tells him Britt has been given her meds, and the next time they meet, he wants to talk about Sunny. Marco turns around to find Lucas standing there. At the hospital, Nathan informs his sister that Anna thinks their father is alive. At Lulu's, she and Brooklyn are debating her feelings for Nathan when Spinelli calls to tell Lulu that Maxie has woken up. She then passes the news on to Brooklyn. Finally, in Boston, Maxie tells her mom she loves that James calls Spinelli Dad now. Felicia tells her daughter that James wasn't referring to Spinelli, but Nathan. Felicia states that Nathan is alive. On the next General Hospital, Valentine's Day dates happen at the Hatchet Range, and when Lucas tries to walk out, Marco gets physical and grabs him, yelling, "You aren't going anywhere." General Hospital spoilers Monday, February 16th. Marco grabs Lucas, blocks Windermere exit. Britt's terrible predicament. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, February 16th. Reveal that Marco Rios will grab Lucas Jones and block his Windermere exit while Britt Westbourne faces a terrible predicament. For starters, Carly Spencer will open up to Jason Morgan about Rick Lansing and point out that Sonny Corinthos insists Rick doesn't have an agenda. However, Carly just won't buy it, and will have concerns about Sonny opening the door to this Rick relationship. Speaking of Rick, he'll take Elizabeth Baldwin on a date at the hatchet throwing range. Liz will sense that Rick's implying she doesn't know how to have fun, but she may prove him wrong once she potentially starts throwing bullseyes and gloating. While Harrison Chase talks to Brooklyn Quartermain about making this a Valentine's Day to remember, Molly Lansing Davis will give Alexis Davis updates on some big news. Molly may admit there's interest in a multi-book publishing deal based on the manuscript that Christina Corinthos Davis submitted, so Alexis should be excited for her daughter. Of course, Molly may fill Alexis in on all the drama her novel has caused with Cody Bell as well, and get a little more advice. At GH, it looks like Liesl Albrecht will turn to Britt with a request, but Britt will be hesitant to give it. "You have no idea what you're asking right now," Britt sternly insists on Monday's preview video. Despite all the drama, Britt will later take the risk of meeting up with Jason for some romantic moments later. Back at the hatchet throwing range, Jacinda Bracken will catch Michael Corinthos off guard by taking him there for their Valentine's Day date. As they enjoy their time together, Michael may admit that Jacinda is full of surprises. "Let's just say there's one more every minute," Jacinda tells Michael in the preview clip. At Windermere, Lucas will confront Marco and apparently rip into him over the incriminating things he overheard. When Lucas tries to head for the door, Marco will grab him by the arm and warn that he's not going anywhere. General Hospital spoilers say some scary moments are on the way for Lucas, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers. Britt and Lucas' secret partnership. New Windermere team dupes Sidwell and Marco. General Hospital spoilers hint that Britt Westbourne and Lucas Jones may form a secret partnership. Will a new Windermere team dupe Jen Sidwell and Marco Rios? Lucas was perplexed and annoyed when he got updates on Britt's concierge doctor position at Windermere. It didn't make sense to Lucas. But now he knows Britt's true reason for hanging around. Britt is being forced to complete the project if she wants to stay alive and functioning. Since everything hinges on Britt's access to her medication, Sidwell informed Marco that they were controlling her by keeping her drug doses there at the castle. Lucas overheard all that and knows Marco's concerned about Carly Spencer sniffing around, too. Marco doesn't want Carly to see Britt walking in and out of the catacombs, but Sidwell worked to reassure him on GH's February 11th episode. Of course, Lucas must be feeling pretty terrible considering how he's treated Carly. It's clear that Carly was right to worry about Lucas' relationship with Marco and this Windermere move. Pascal was lurking and knows Lucas was playing eavesdropper outside the door, so that could put Lucas in a tight spot. However, Lucas might lie about not overhearing all that much, or even just pretend he's okay with what he discovered. If Lucas feigns loyalty and eventually makes Marco believe he's fine with Britt's forced cooperation, that could make Marco love him even more. In reality, Lucas has a good heart and most definitely won't approve of what's happening to Britt. Although Lucas and Britt have their fair share of issues with each other, she's still a human being who doesn't deserve what she's going through. That's why Lucas could secretly join forces with Britt on a plan to get her out of this mess. Britt needs to swipe a medication dose, so she can have it recreated elsewhere. So maybe Lucas will vow to help her pull that off. It's always fun when surprising characters work together on soaps, so Britt and Lucas may be next in line for a shocking alliance. It'd be great to see Lucas and Britt become team players as they fight back against Sidwell and Marco. Unfortunately, there's someone else involved here, and he's awfully dangerous. Britt may fret over Lucas landing on Ross Cullum's radar and putting himself at risk, but Lucas may remain determined to help her anyway. General Hospital spoilers say Lucas has been dragged into drama whether he likes it or not, so he might as well assist Britt if possible. Steve Burton's break from the show could give Lucas an opportunity to pitch in more when Jason can't. No matter how it all goes down, Lucas' newfound knowledge is going to lead to some other scary news and tricky situations. General Hospital's Finola Hughes exits GH. Is Anna gone? General Hospital spoilers hint that Finola Hughes, who plays Anna Devane on GH, has seemingly left the show. During the closing credits of the Friday, February 13th episode, Hughes' name was shockingly absent from the rest of the series regulars, as well as the recurring actors/actresses that participated in the show that day. Stunning to say the least, Anna has been a pivotal player in the daytime drama since arriving on the Port Charles scene in 1985. As the leading lady on the ABC soap, she's remained prominent in storylines, especially since 2012. While neither General Hospital nor Hughes has made an official statement on whether the actress has been taken off contract and what her status is with the show, the fact that her name is no longer in the closing credits is huge. General Hospital fans are still reeling over Steve Burton announcing his small vacui from the show this past week. In an Instagram post, Burton explained he wanted to spend more time with his family, and he'd be back in the summer. Burton has already finished shooting for the soap and talked about his hiatus recently on his podcast with co-host Bradford Anderson, confirming the reason for his short break was family, and he knew that GH would likely line up some fun storylines for Jason's return. Hughes is a 9-time Daytime Emmy-nominated actress who scored the award in 1991 in the lead actress category. If she has left the ABC soap, this would be a huge blow for General Hospital. Storyline-wise, Anna is in a mental health facility in France right now, trying to convince authorities that Cesar Faison is alive and he kidnapped her. Little does she know that was the handiwork of Pascal, Jen Sidwell, and WSB backstabber Ross Cullum. Will Anna stay in France until further notice? General Hospital spoilers say that a Port Charles world without Anna Devane is like French fries without ketchup, or apple pie without ice cream. So it'll be interesting to see if the show or the actress confirms an exit, and what happens next for her character and show. GH villain Ezra subtly showed off his funny side. Ezra had fans cracking up the other day. General Hospital's Ezra isn't known for being a good guy, but his portrayer, Daniel Cosgrove, recently had some fun with the villain. Now, fans can't stop laughing about his actions. Key takeaways: Daniel Cosgrove had a blink and you miss it moment as Ezra. GH fans couldn't get enough of the humorous side of the villain. Ezra is still a villain, and that won't change. Ezra stole the show, and he wasn't in the scene when Christina and Jacinda met for a little yoga workout to discuss all things Michael. Their exercise time was interrupted by Ezra, who had a chat with Jacinda. After the two had a brief conversation, during which Jacinda gave Ezra her personal number, Christina scolded Jacinda for her actions. It wasn't their awkward talk that had people buzzing, though. In the background, as Jacinda and Christina had a tense conversation, Ezra was getting his workout on. Cosgrove had Ezra stretching and taking a selfie, a move that caught fans' attention on social media. "Okay, Ezra, we see you. Get those selfies for your dating profile," joked one fan on X. The X was reshared by another fan who declared that Cosgrove stole the scene. Another fan jumped on X to write, "LMAO, what is Ezra doing in the background? Taking gym selfies? This freaking guy." There's no question that Ezra in the background was highly entertaining. However, it doesn't mean that Ezra is any less of a creep. All it means is that Cosgrove, as soap fans know, is a stellar actor with so much talent. Ezra was background laughter, but the way he's laser-focused on Jacinda isn't cool, nor is Jacinda keeping him as her backup plan. GH has been known to redeem characters who have done terrible things. For example, when Roger Howarth took over the role of Franco, the writers used a brain tumor to justify every horrible thing Franco did when James Franco was in the role. In this case, Ezra really can't be redeemed, and it's not because he's awful. Unlike Drew, who's just a despicable person, Ezra makes a good villain. Ezra is more of a villain fans can love to hate because of his softer side, and the ABC soap needs that, especially since Cosgrove adds some humor to the bad guy that can easily disgust fans. Maxie learns Nathan's alive. BLQ confronts Lulu and Lucas overhears a deadly secret. On the GH, Maxie Jones wakes up to shocking news about Nathan West. Brooklyn Quartermain questions Lulu's motives, and Lucas Jones hears something at Windermere that could put his life in danger. Maxie Jones learned Nathan West's alive, while Brooklyn Quartermain had questions. And at Windermere, Lucas Jones heard something he shouldn't. Key points: Maxie Jones wakes from her coma and learns Nathan West is alive. Brooklyn Quartermain confronts Lulu about her feelings for Nathan. Lucy Co fakes a reconciliation with Jen Sidwell. Britt Westbourne warns Marco his lies will destroy everything. Lucas Jones overhears a conversation he was never meant to hear. Felicia, Georgie and James were thrilled to see Maxie awake. Felicia Scorpio, Georgie Spinelli, and James West were excited to see Maxie awake, and the kids gave their mom a big hug. Maxie was puzzled by their reaction and her location, so Felicia clarified that the family had moved her to Boston for treatment after her heart attack. Damien Spinelli arrived, and after a brief moment of silence, he lifted Maxie into his arms. Spinelli was thrilled by what seemed like a miracle, but Felicia wanted to consult the doctor to ensure Maxie was all right. When the doctor left Maxie's room, everyone hurried inside. The kids started catching Maxie up while Spinelli and Felicia talked to the doctor. Maxie was curious about everything she had missed over the last 6 months, and the kids started to fill her in while Felicia and Spinelli stepped into the hallway to speak with the doctor. Spinelli asked why she had woken up now, and the doctor explained that the enzyme in Maxie's blood had deteriorated to almost nothing. Spinelli inquired about potential long-term issues from the coma, but the doctor reassured him that everything looked promising. Spinelli suggested to Felicia that there were more things Maxie needed to catch up on, and she agreed it would be best for her to inform Maxie about Nathan. Maxie learned Nathan is alive. They returned to the room, and Maxie radiated joy about being a family again. When James talked about how well his horseback riding lessons were progressing and mentioned that even Dad wants to try, Maxie glanced at Spinelli. Felicia intervened and encouraged the kids to allow Maxie and Spinelli some time alone initially. Spinelli just looked at her, smiling, and she found it amusing that he was usually so talkative. He showed her some pictures on his phone, and she was taken aback to see Brooklyn and Lulu Spencer getting along. Later, Maxie sent James and Georgie back to Port Charles with Spinelli. Felicia stayed behind and softly told her daughter the shocking news that Nathan was alive. She looked skeptical. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel without missing any update.